All right. Welcome to another episode of Connect and Politic. We're here with a special guest. Please introduce yourself by telling us your name, where you're currently located, and your favorite snack.
My name is Stha. I am currently located in Beijing, China. My favorite snack would have to be Pringles. I love Pringles.
Hmm, that's interesting. Any just the plain flavor?
Yeah, the sour cream and chives.
Uh,
Original.
the
Yeah.
original. Gotcha. Do you remember your favorite food as a child?
My favorite food as a child. Mm, Anything pasta-y. I loved pasta. Yeah, so spaghetti bolognese.
Yeah. And what's your favorite meal as an adult right now?
Nothing like a good bowl of curry and rice. Simple, the way my mom cooks it. Yeah, so like chicken curry and rice or beef curry and rice.
Nice. When was the last time you had that?
When I was at home.
With
So
your
that would be the August of 2019.
and where is home?
Sorry?
Where is home?
Home is in Durban, South Africa, on the east coast of South Africa.
Nice. Uh, what's your fondest memory from childhood?
My fondest memory from childhood would be I vividly remember um, before my dad passed on when we were very young. Uh, every single day when he'd come home from work, he'd always uh, not take off his shoes because that's what I used to do. I used to crawl and I used to take off his shoes coming home from work. I think that's the last memory I have of dad, and that's probably my fondest memory. Yeah.
And you take off his shoes when he got in the house, like while he's still walking, you're just grabbing on his
No,
shoes.
no, he'd walk in and he'd sit on the edge of the bed in him and mom's room. So when he's sitting on the edge of the bed there, I would be the one to take off his shoes there.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a great memory. Do you miss anything about being a child?
Being carefree and not worrying about anything else or anyone else besides my own happiness and picking what color crayon I should use in my coloring book. Yeah, just the mental freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What what
Am
we
I allowed asking questions back? Was this
No, I mean, you could. It's a conversation. You could, but it's usually, but you could if you have a question. Feel free.
okay? The style is usually okay. It's usually one way.
Yeah.
All right, no problem. Just ask.
But if something is pressing to you that you want to ask, yeah, feel free.
Sure.
Um, what were you like in high school?
In high school, I was not too different from what I am right now. I pretty much knew what I wanted. I was this girl who was really outgoing, sure of herself, hockey player, did very well academically and sports wise. Um, was a part of the heads of school leadership positions. Um, I was probably one of those kids you'd probably be like anything she does just seems to go right back in high school. Um, I think I was a little too hard on myself for things. Like I'd make sure I did the best that I could, and coming on top for everything was really important to me in high school. I had a good circle of friends. I had a good balance between academics as well. I've been well-rounded. But yeah, in high school, I'd probably describe myself as a person who was very active at school. Yeah.
Yeah, you said you played lacrosse or hockey. You play hockey.
Yes, I played hockey. I played hockey for the school's first team, and also I played for the province, which is like the state.
Yeah. Do you still play?
No. I thought I could take hockey on in university, but university was a lot. I walked into varsity, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be this girl, sports, academics, and the course was like, bye, no sports whatsoever. So I stopped. Yeah.
And are you still involved in the sports world at all? Like even as a fan?
I'm not a diehard fan, but when I can, I do watch sports. Otherwise, right now, what I do is I like to go to the gym just to keep healthy. I think hockey made life easier because it was very social and I got to see my friends, we got to play, and that helped keep me fit. But now the gym, I'm trying, but yeah, I still try to keep fit. Yeah.
Nice. How do you think your childhood helped groom you into the person you are today?
My childhood.
Yes.
Wow. I think I think coming from my family, dad having passed away from a very young age, and just growing together with my siblings, the four of us, and mom, because mom didn't have any siblings. She was the only one that made it. All her my grandparents' children were born stillborn. So she was the only child, so not having aunts and uncles and it just being us really, really taught me how to treasure and appreciate the people I have around me. I pour so much into my family. I pour so much into just my brothers, my little sister, and I think a lot of who I am today is because of the way that I was raised. Because mom always made it a point to say, I've got siblings and I need to set an example for them. So that's always been ingrained in my mind. So having that at the back of my mind from a very young age has always made me has always helped to make the right decisions, to know that I'm not living just a selfish life. I need to think about my siblings too. And the fact that like God's hand has just been over our family throughout the entire time. And I've been able to see that. So yeah, my childhood had a big role to play. Right.
Yeah, and you're the oldest out of
I'm
the.
not actually. I'm not. I'm the oldest daughter. I've got an older brother.
Okay,
Yeah, I've got an older brother.
nice.
He's the firstborn. He is in the States right now, actually.
Oh,
Yeah. He's there right now. He is doing his MBA at Harvard University.
nice, nice. What are some important lessons you've learned from your parents, both mom and dad?
With my mom, like I've learned so much from my mom. I can't. I don't even know where to begin when I speak about her, because she's so forgiving and she's such a great leader. Like, that's the first person that I was ever able to say, wow, this woman is a leader. My mom is the kind of person who raised us to be able to make our own decisions. She was very empowering. She was never a person who controlled us. She she did her best to raise us in the best way possible in terms of instilling the values that we could carry to to different stages of our lives as well. So yeah, I learned a lot from mom in terms of forgiving, caring, as well as how to raise children. I'd love to be half the woman my mom is. From dad, I was really, really young to remember anything about dad. But the fact that he had like a mini routine or ritual with me back when I was young, I think I learned about like not neglecting kids even when they're small from him, because you don't know what a child remembers, good or bad. Those memories remain.
Yeah.
So I think the mere fact that I've got that memory of him means a lot to me. And that just shows the importance of being very intentional about the way you treat others, not just your kids, but others as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of your favorite things to do for self-care?
Self-care. I think just allowing myself to stay in bed and not think about work. That's like a form of self-care for me, because I'm always on the go. It's always about helping someone else. It's always about thinking about what I need to do, but actually being intentional about saying, okay, this is the time that I'm allocating to myself, even if it's just laying in bed. That's really important to me. I think in the most simplest form, I think that's my best way to self-care. Yeah.
And when you say lay in bed, are you asleep or you're just lying there?
I'm watching videos. I'm watching videos. Yeah, just lazing around, rolling over in bed, just not having anything important to do in the back of my mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some things you do for self-growth?
Mm. Introspection. Introspection. For self-growth, I've loved personal development for a very long time. And I remember when I was in primary school, I felt as though our library was so boring because they had these fiction books, and I was never into the Goosebumps and all of those chicken soup when there was a craze back then. And I remember asking mom to drive me to the local library, and I got a book. One of my very first books was a book on body language. I don't remember who the author was. And another book was by Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. I read that book when I was like in grade 6 or something. So I've always been about personal development, but for me, nothing is as important as doing introspection. Because a lot of the times it's so easy for us to to get offended. It's so easy for us to think about how other people can improve. And with self growth and self development, you can start being about the external stuff, how you look good, how you sound good, how you look like you're growing to everybody else. Whereas if you take the time to sit by yourself and be real, be like, yo, I got some work to do. Because sometimes self growth and personal development isn't you moving on ahead and climbing up some sort of fictional ladder. Sometimes it's about you sitting down and digging deep. You might not be climbing up yet, but you got to do some digging where you need to uproot certain things. And it's really difficult to do that. So it takes quite a bit of humility to say, you know what, I'm not perfect. I've got things I need to work on. It's not just this happy-go-lucky environment. It's not just, yeah, I feel good all the time. It's okay. I'm not okay right now. Fine. What happened? How can I get better from? Was I the one that was wrong in this situation? Then that way you're going to be growing too. So next time you'll be able to learn from whatever setback it is that you went
Yeah. So you mentioned, a few books and your love for books at an early age. If you were to write a book, what would it be about?
If I were to write a book, I would write a book on personal branding. I'd write a book on personal branding because, well, on my social media and everything, I mean, I've taken a break right now, but just how I've been able to build my brand on social media, I think that would really help people as well, in terms of building their own brands. But the whole idea behind the book, that I really would like to work on, called Born a Brand, is the fact that who you portray yourself to be online should be a direct correlation to who you are offline. So the biggest platform I'm on right now is LinkedIn. Yes, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram or whatever, but I really, really like LinkedIn. So with personal branding, I like to tie personal branding to leadership because those are the things I'm passionate about. So personal branding and a quote that I came up with is personal branding is leadership because it's like wearing your core values on your sleeve. So I definitely write a book on personal branding. I've been getting a lot of questions about that as well. Doing a bit of consultation, but I've just been so busy now, so I'm not taking any bookings. But yeah, it would definitely be on personal branding.
Yeah. What's your IG handle or your online?
At Stha_Mavundla.
So it's just your first name underscore your last name.
Yes.
Where did this interest in personal branding / leadership come from?
Leadership has always been a passion of mine as far as I can remember, since maybe second or third grade. Since I was small, when I was put into these little leadership positions, and how it was very different for me because it stems from a place of like I love people and I genuinely want to make a difference where that's concerned, and also having younger siblings, then it's almost like morphed now into where I've been consciously aware of leadership with the personal branding that came from just how I've had a personal brand for a while. How you can ask anyone. It's funny. You could ask anyone from primary school, high school, university, and how they describe me to you or whoever would. It's literally never changed. Yes, I've grown as a person. I've grown, but the core essence of who I am hasn't changed since. And my grade six teacher, funny enough, even said, "Wow, I'm so proud of you." She's on my Facebook, and on my birthday this year, she said, "Wow, I'm so proud of you. You haven't changed one bit." That's my sixth grade teacher that said that. So I think it really helped knowing who I was from a young age, because even in university, I didn't go through this wilding phase. What was that? Because I knew whether I was at home or I was here, it was still me, and I'm just not about that, being secure and sure of who I was. So even when I did go onto social media then, it was just basically taking who I was offline and portraying that online. So I made a decision and I said, okay, you know what? I'd love to go have a professional photo shoot. So that's exactly what I did. Stayed went with my hair up in there, and I had my professional photo shoot. I was thinking about having it on a weave or whatever, and I basically detailed what happened before I had that photo shoot, and that went viral on Twitter, funny enough, about that photo shoot. So I just basically took who I was offline, put that online, and I blended the two, because personal branding now also combines marketing, how you go out there and you present yourself as well. Because it's no good for you to act like someone you're not online, because that's going to catch up with you. At the end of the day, we're living in a digital world right now. And this is exactly how we're able to have this conversation now. Most things are moving online. So yeah. I don't know if I've answered your question.
Yeah. I mean, the follow-up question would be, like what are your core values, right? So you're talking, you essentially said your personal brand is your core values, that you wear on your sleeve, um, and so what are your core values that has stuck with you from elementary to who you are now, that anyone say, yeah, that's her, we expected that.
Integrity, authenticity, reliability. What else? Um, being of high value, basically. I think that's how I'd describe it in a nutshell. I'm not sure if I've answered your question properly.
Yeah. No, I mean those are three high value. Those are the three pillars, of value. So, what do you do in your professional life, and is it any different than what you imagined, or dream about doing as a kid?
Very different. Very different. Like, I wanted to be a doctor from a young age. I was just like, yeah, because I want to help people. I want to be a doctor. And then life happened. When I was in the 10th grade, I I signed myself up to go do work experience at the hospital. So there for about 2 weeks, and went to the relevant departments, surgery, theater, everything, wearing scrubs. And we also, with some of my friends, we went to the GP as well. It was a public hospital. And I'll never forget, it was some young girl that had walked in. Um, it was like reeking. Like, I can't even describe that smell. I think she'd had like an infection, like an STI or something. And it was like something died there. Like this, and And it was so heartbreaking where it was like, you know, those guys can't react. But at the same time, I was like, do I really want to do this the rest of my life? Yes, it sounds cool. Yes, I'm getting to help people, but really, do I really, really want to do this? And on the other side, I wanted to be a TV presenter. So I went for auditions for that. A lot of things. I wanted to go into psychology. Then mom was like, nah, where are you going to get paid for that? So yeah, they were pushing for being a doctor. Then I was like, okay, you know what? I don't want to go into it firsthand. Let me go into science. Fine. So I did my BSc in environmental science and life science. Then I said, no, maybe I'll switch over while I'm in university. But I just carried on. I did biological science, and I just ended up not going down that stream. So I did my honors in biological science. Then I was doing my master's in biological science, then I put that on hold. Then I jumped on a plane all the way to China and I started teaching. And yeah, that's what I am doing now currently here. And I'm also working on the leadership side of things. I would like to go into it full time, but I'm just working on things right now. I have been blessed enough to have the opportunity to speak on different platforms. I was invited to go speak at the #1 business school in Germany, ESMT Berlin, on personal branding for their mathematicians because they partnered up with the African Institute of Mathematical Sciences. So that was awesome. I'd love to be, yeah, I'd love to be doing that on a larger scale, but I never thought I'd be doing this ever. I don't know what I imagine my life to be like, but it's definitely not this.
Got it. No, I mean that's it's part of the journey, right? So you never know. I'm sure the experiences you're having now is gonna add some value to another part of your journey later on in life. So, is there something on your bucket list that you want to learn or do?
Something on my bucket list that I want to do. I really want to go to, I really want to go to Europe. I know it's like right here, but with COVID-19, I'm doubting everything now. Like, it seems like it's so small, but I just want to travel. I really want to travel right now. Like, nothing amazing, simple, just walk the streets of London. you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I really want to do.
No, that's cool. So, it'll happen. It'll happen soon. Is there something you want to unlearn?
Yeah, sure. I want to unlearn perfectionism. Um, it cripples you, man. And I feel like other people that have never experienced it don't understand, but it's a thing of constantly trying to do the best that you can. And sometimes, even when you've done your best, feeling like it's not good enough, feeling like where you are right now isn't where you should be, constantly feeling as though you haven't attained a certain level of something that you would have wanted to. So, breaking away from that mindset of constantly like being hard on yourself if things don't go right. I mean, we're living in a world that's dynamic, different forces at play, different things taking place all the time, and wanting to attain a level of perfectionism in whatever it is you're doing doesn't help, because progress is what's important. Because at the same time, perfectionists and perfectionism sometimes leads to procrastination, because now you're like, okay, let me wait first. I don't want to lift these dumbbells right now because I'm not feeling like I do my best. Whereas the other guy who's like, I'm gonna try. Every day he's doing it, doing it, doing it. At the end of the month, who's gonna be the one that's had gains? The one every day he was calculating, analyzing this, or the other guy. It's the other one. Even if his form wasn't correct in the beginning, he'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's a Can you think of any advice you would give your younger self?
Any advice I'd give to my younger self? It's okay to make mistakes. Yeah, it's okay to make mistakes. Um, just do it. Just do your best. Be yourself. Uh, yeah, be a kid, man. I think, I think, like, it's just me though. Like, from a young age, I've always been a little bit like ahead in terms of the way I carry myself and the way that I relate to other people. Even now, it's not even a, it's not even because I'm enforcing it or something. It's something that happens and takes place naturally. You know, I wish I could have just been a kid. No, I don't know in what sense, because I did have fun. I enjoyed my childhood, but to my younger self, maybe do a little bit more fun stuff.
Yeah.
Primary school vibes, yeah, whatever, yeah.
What's the best advice you receive about money?
Best advice I received about money: save, save, pay yourself first, right? I think that's the best advice I've ever received, because I think it's basically shaped my finances. Like, since we were young, mom basically taught us. We saw how she do it. I mean, she was just working as a teacher and she raised 4 kids on her own. So she in South Africa. So she was able to plan things and do her best financially. So she always said, save, save, save. I think that's the best advice I've ever gotten, because that's basically helped me so much now where I haven't had issues financially. I'm not a compulsive spender. I think about my purchases because I know the importance of saving and being able to manage your finances. Yeah.
Yeah. Great advice. Um, what has been the toughest thing you've had to tackle, and what helped you get through it?
Getting deep. Woo, woo. The toughest thing. Okay, I'll just say one of the toughest things I've had to handle, because there are a lot of tough things we face in this world. One of the toughest things I've had to handle was the first time I failed in a test in university. Because now I had a track record, right? Happy-go-lucky, everything was fine. I never studied much. It was okay. I still do well, coming top of the class and everything. Then high school was okay. Got to university, I failed. I'll never forget. Statistics 130. That test that I failed. I cried. And I remember calling mom and being like, I thought my world was crumbling. I know now, like afterwards, it wasn't that deep. But back then, it was the toughest thing ever. Where it was like, wow, okay. So now what can happen? What should I do? Okay. Then I called my mom and she said to me, it's okay, my child. Even if you take 7 years to complete this degree. She was just trying to comfort me. She was like, even if you fail, it's okay, whatever. I remember after that conversation, I cried a little bit more and I said, you know what, so there was this guy in our university, his name was Derek, and one of my friends, Bogi, and I, every day after school, we would sit down and do our best to study. And Derek was helping us. We worked so hard. I remember working so hard, and I ended up passing and doing well. But what that taught me too, funny enough, okay, so that's how I dealt with it. But what that taught me as well was not to base my confidence and my self-esteem and self-worth on external achievements. Because that's what I'd been doing the entire time. That's when I knew who I was. I was like, everything's going right for me. Fine. But once that hit me, I was like, who am I? I thought I was this girl who always does well in everything. What's this? So I think that highlighted something really important for me in my life. But the way I dealt with that was literally rolling up my sleeves, getting down in the trenches and working.
Yeah. Where do you feel the most at home and happy?
I feel the most at home and happy when I'm at peace. Wherever I am, it doesn't matter who I'm with, but whenever I'm at peace in knowing that I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm not in my head, I'm enough. Whether that's me by myself, just watching videos rolling over in bed, I feel at home because I'm relaxed. Whether it's me with my family, we're eating and enjoying a meal, I feel at home. I'm relaxed. I'm fine. But for me, it's not about a physical destination. It's about a mental mindset. Yeah. So as long as I'm okay here, then I'm good.
Yeah. Time for a fun question. If you won the lottery tomorrow, what will you do?
I'd pack my bags and get out of here. I'd go. I'd travel. I don't know if I can travel now. You see, COVID-19. But like, I definitely invested into my business and other ventures. I don't want to be working past the age of 35. That's my cutoff. That by that time, hopefully, children and beautiful family, home, everything, yeah, where that's concerned. So I definitely want to use it wisely, get advice as to how I can make the best decisions where that's concerned, and yeah, I don't want to be working beyond that age. That's just
Oh man. Is there anyone you would like to thank or express your appreciation for that you haven't had the chance to yet?
I would like to thank. Does it have to be one person?
No, no, it could be a few. You can do a few. Do a list.
Okay.
This is your Grammy speech or your Oscar speech. Yeah.
Okay. So firstly, I'd like to thank my older brother for setting an example and always doing his best um, in whatever it is that he's doing, including his academics and his career, and now just him as a person, man. That aside um, from the whole external stuff, but just him as a person. Yeah, it's been real. My younger brother, my younger sister, shout out. Yeah. I'd also like to thank my mom, who has just been amazing in raising us. She not only raised us to do our best at school, but the morals and the values that she instilled in me personally, I really want to teach my daughter as well to live in that way. Yes, um, you stand out because you're a little bit different in terms of that, because you're not swimming with the grain, but you're comfortable in it. I don't know how she was able to instill that in me and my little sister as well. Now I can see she's also going down the right path where that's concerned. I really want to thank her for that, and just loving us. Uh, and I also really want to thank God, like, for having His hand of protection over our family through it all. And also want to thank you for this interview. It's been so like insightful. I'm really, really sorry about the mishap earlier on in terms of that. I think it's working perfectly fine now. Yeah. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now for our final question. How do you define success?
I love this question, and that's the question I ask in my interviews. Success for me. Success for me is doing what you are born, right? Because sometimes we can get caught up in the rut of being like, oh, Mike just started Connect and Politics, and maybe I can start a podcast or a YouTube channel too. And you do really well at it. But what if that was his purpose and something that he had to achieve? But you are now doing well, whatever it is you're doing, fine. But are you fulfilling your purpose? So for me, with success, that's how I define it. It's me doing what I was born to do, finding my own purpose and being comfortable in doing that and happy with that. Because in the society we live in, especially with social media, you'll be blown about. You'll think this is the right thing to do, that's the right thing to do, and you might get really good at it. But at the end of the day, if you're busy doing something that you weren't meant to be doing and you're great and exceptional at it, you still haven't fulfilled your purpose. So for me, success is fulfilling your purpose, no matter how small or how big that purpose is. It's you finding it and going after it and being content with that, regardless of what everyone else is doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Great answer. It's the perfect way to end. It's been a pleasure. We connected, we politic, and hopefully we'll do this again when you're in either South Africa or in somewhere in Europe or in America. I mean, who knows? We'll see.
Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed it. You're really chilled and laid back.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank,
you.
thank